Man, this is very true. Check this out.
If you are an artist, I'm gonna look in the camera. If you're an artist and you can't record yourself, take a step back and go to school, whether that's YouTube, whether that's your engineer friend, and learn how to record yourself and learn some things about mixing. Like, you get in with the top artists, they can tell you what very plugin is on their vocal chain. They could tell you what mic they're using. Like, they know. And so that's part of their process. You know, I started off on a Neumann TLM 103 mic and an inbox. Now we on the duo,
Very true. Very true. Okay? If you are an artist and you say you want to really make it in this music business and you do not know how to record yourself, you're losing right now. You are definitely losing. And this is a problem with a lot of artists that I know. I've known artists right now. I know at least, I would say maybe about close to 10 artists right now that I've known for several years that come in and record that still to this day do not know how to record themselves. And that is a tragedy right now, especially with all the tools and all the stuff that you have right now to learn how to record. Please, I'm pleading with you artists right now, learn how to record yourselves. Even if you go to the studios, even if you have people that are willing to record you, please learn how to record yourselves. Because just like how he said in the video, you would know if people are basically BSing you when you're recording. Because if you know how to record yourself, you'll know if the levels are too hot. You'll know if the equipment is not dialed in the right way. You'll know, hey, I don't like this certain mic. This mic may making my voice sound a little, scratchy. I want to try a different mic if you have another one. Or if this mic doesn't work, hey, why don't you roll off a little bit of the top end? Or how about you compress me a little bit? Do you have a preamp? Do you have this? Do you have that? You want to be able to know what is going on in the studio at all times, especially when you're recording, because you want to try to get the best vocal take as possible. I'm not saying it has to be A1 1000% perfect, but at least get you something that is going to make sure that your vocals come out the right way. And then, of course, if you learn how to record yourself, you will know especially how to put your music down the right way. Meaning you'll know how to arrange it. You'll know, okay, I need to put ad-libs right here. I need to put certain stacks right here. Okay, usually I don't do two dubs. I may do 3 dubs. I might do 1 down the middle and 2 on the side. Hey, put this certain EQ on my voice. This is what I use. I use a certain reverb on my voice. I use a certain compressor. Do you have maybe the Waves R compressor or something like that, or maybe a SSL or something like that? You want to be able to know all of this stuff. And I know it's a lot of you guys watching right now who actually knows how to record yourself because you didn't have anybody else to record you but yourself. But there are a lot of artists right now who cannot record themselves. And that's crazy. And there's a lot of artists who are not even on the level of some of these major artists that don't know how to record themselves. Like right now, you got to think people like Ariana Grande, phenomenal singer, can get anybody to come in and record her. She knows how to record herself. She can record the whole song by herself and mix it because she knows how her vocals are supposed to sound. And the cool thing about it is she's been in so many studios around so many great engineers to where she's probably learned so much stuff from them to where now she can get her stuff sounding just as good as some of the engineers that she works with. But she still trusts the process of recording herself and getting the best people to mix it and getting the best people to master it. But she can pretty much dial in her tone and get it right. You got to think people like Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa will be on the road recording himself. Lil Wayne can record himself. He can literally go in there and record himself if he's on the road. We've seen videos of Lil Wayne in the hotel rooms recording himself. He'll bring his whole setup with him and record himself. They know what mics they need. They know what tools they need to record. A lot of times these people just go in there with a really good mic and maybe like an Apollo interface or something like that and record themselves. Or if it's not an Apollo, it's a Focusrite or something like that, but they still know how to dial in their vocals good enough to where now you can take it and mix it and nobody won't even know that they recorded a whole song using a Focusrite 2i2. It's not about the amount of equipment and everything you have and the people that you have working for you. Sometimes you got to get down, roll up your sleeves, and get in this mud a little bit and learn how to record yourselves, because it's going to do nothing but make you better. Like the other day, well, not the other day, this is like last year sometime, there was a guy in the studio, and I ain't gonna lie, I had to go and I had to take care of some stuff at the crib, and I had another engineer there, and there was a guy in there recording the booth, and I had the engineer there, and the engineer was just not moving fast enough for the artist. So what the artist do, he told the engineer, hey, can we pull the mic out here? I'll just record myself. And he called me, he was like, hey, your dude is cool, but I know how to record myself too, Bolo. You don't mind if I record myself? I'm like, nah, like, if he's not moving fast enough for you, go ahead and do your thing. When I got back, this man pretty much mixed his whole record right then and there. He was like, yo, bro, I like how the mic sound. Everything sounds good. I had to dial myself in. I had to, change some of the settings on your preamp or whatever. He was like, is that cool? I was like, no problem. I was like, I'll reset it to, it's cool. I'll reset it. And he dialed his vocals in to where I was like, man, you got this thing sounding real good. He was like, yeah, I don't really have all this, but I just know how I like my vocals to sound. And it sounded great. All because an artist took time to learn how to record themselves. And it's not that hard to do it. There's certain ways that professionals record. Of course, a lot of times professionals, we use the one track and then drop down method to where we'll have one record track and somebody record on that track. And then from there, you'll just drag it down to the next track. And you don't keep pressing record on each individual track. You just have a particular record track at the top. You can move that up or down or whatever. And you just take and just drag down from there. That's the method that most people record in the industry. That way you don't have to have 30,000 effects on each other track. You just record, drag down, record, drag down to the next track, record, drag down to the next track, and it makes things so much faster. Like, I don't know any other way of recording right now. I used to record the other way where I used to arm track one and record on that track and then take that off of that track and then go to track two and arm that track and record. But then my guy who was an engineer here in Atlanta, who used to record a lot of people back in, in the early 2000s, he was like, why are you doing it that way? He's like, no, what you do is you record and you drag down. Record the next track, you drag down. Record the next track and you drag down. That way you don't have to keep sitting here and arming and disarming different tracks. And now the workflow is a lot faster right now. And I learned that in 2005. So, it's no telling how long people have been using it since, the DAWs have been the way of recording. But that's the way you do it, and that's the way you get things done efficiently, especially if you're an artist who is trying to get stuff done. And then the cool thing about it is, let's just say, for instance, you're good enough to record yourself and you do get in like a record deal situation. Now your budget does not have to be pretty much taken up by engineers and everything else. You can record yourself at the house, and then a lot of times you can pay yourself, if you really want to, out of your own budget. That's if you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's still coming out of your budget, but now it's liquid money coming back to you because now you're your own engineer, or you can leave the money back in the budget and use that for something else, because to be truthfully honest, the labels are going to spend that money on something. They're going to spend that budget on something, even something that's not even related to the song half the time. They'll spend it on something. So it's best that if you know how to record yourself, go ahead and build a label and get your money. Because they're going to use it for something else anyway that you can be like, why did you spend it on that? So I always tell people, especially artists, engineers, producers, everybody, record yourself. Even if you're an engineer, record yourself so you can find new ways and new techniques. Even though you're not a rapper or a singer, still record yourself to keep yourself on top. Because sometimes you might be sitting at home for a couple weeks and you might not have a certain gig. Still record yourself. You never know. You may need to be the artist at some point. But I do say artists, writers, engineers, producers, learn how to record. Everybody needs to learn how to record. If you're a writer, learn how to record, because a lot of times The writers who know how to record are the ones who usually get the placements, because a lot of times people don't want to go in the studios with writers. A lot of times producers just want to send the beats to the writers, and then the writers record themselves and they send the product back. And now the producer, all he has to do is just email or go to the studio and play some stuff. Or they'll say, hey, it sounds good. Send me the session so I can mix it a little bit. And I'm going to send it over to the artist and see if we can get a placement. Sometimes the producer may be on one side of the globe. The writer may be on the other side of the globe. If the writer knows how to record themselves, then bam, they can record it, send it right back. And that way the writer doesn't have to go to a studio. They don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of paying somebody to do it. You can just take care of it at your house and send it over. And the next thing you have a placement. I've seen so many songs die out because artists don't know how to record, or they'll be like, oh, I need to go down there with the producer. No, you're the writer. Just go ahead and come up with some ideas. And then sometimes the producer may say, okay, cool, we need to go in the studio and finish this up. But it's almost best every single time for a writer to learn how to record themselves. And then for producers, learn how to record people, because if you do have certain writers you want to work with, a lot of times you don't need to have engineers and stuff over there all the time. I know it gets stressful. I know sometimes it gets tiresome to sit here and record people, but if you want your songs to come out the best way, sometimes it's best to just go ahead and just record the writers, record the artists. That way you can get it sounding the way you want to sound it, and you can hear the little nuances and things in the song and say, hey, instead of tapping the engineer's shoulder, you can just stop it yourself because you know what you want. So at the end of the day, not just artists, but everybody needs to know how to record music. They need to know how to record. I don't care if it's Pro Tools, Logic, Studio One, Ableton, Cakewalk, whatever. Learn how to record. It's going to make your life easier.